Heyo, welcome to Stationeers. This is a new update. We're going to be doing a Mars build. I screwed up the audio, so I'm going to have to do a voiceover. This is my first voiceover, so hopefully it works. We're just loading into the game. We're going to play on Mars. We're going to play a standard setup, and we're going to play at normal level. So here we are, we're just deciding where we're going to go. We're going to pick Mars. We're going to look at the various locations. I believe we picked Butcher's Flat, which is a low-lying plain surrounded by rocky hills. I picked that because I wanted to be able to have a good view. All right, and I'm just explaining it's an intermediate level. Gravity is 38% of Earth. We will have dust storms. The sun transits the sky every 20 minutes at 78 degrees. Orbits Sol every 2.3 weeks. Sol provides 495 to 720 watts per meter squared. The temperature is between minus 52 and 15, and the pressure is 2 to 3 kilopascals. So not ideal for running around without a suit. So we're just going to go through that, and then we'll get into the game. All right, we're going to pick normal, and then we're going to pick a standard start. The reason we're going to pick a standard start is because I want to have access to a bunch of supplies, because I haven't read through all the updates. I don't know what all of them are. I know what some of them are, so we're just going to experience them together, and I want to be able to do it with low stress. So we're going to have oxygen, water, fuel, all our regular supplies, and a lander capsule with some water and fuel, or cereal bars. So here we go. Okay, so we're landing in our shuttle pod. We've got the helper hints up, so we can kind of monitor as we go through. We see we're on Mars, the sun is right in front of us, and we note the terrain. It's a nice new terrain model, so I think it looks a little better. This is the new shuttle pod that you get. There's some of our crates. There's our crates and barrels. No crates there. Some other crates there. And I had trouble finding the fuel canister. So now I'm just deciding where do I want to set up my base. I note that the sun's there, possibly going to rise the other direction. I think that way. So we're looking around and we're just going to decide where to set up. But first I'm going to go grab the old construction crate. Opening up my menus. Been a little while since I played Stationeers, so it takes me a second to get moving here. I'm gonna open up our jetpack, put our mining belt down there. Open up our tool belt, put it over there. Open up our mining belt. Now we got all our belts open. I did not open the suit belt, or the uniform belt, but I'll do that later in the video. Just moving some stuff around, making space, and getting the old construction crate out. So we do have storms, which means in about the first 7 days we'll probably have a storm. So I want to get this crate off, and I want to get the base set up. So now I'm just looking around, and I'm deciding where do I want to set up the base after I pick up the appropriate materials. So I'm just going to dump off the stuff I don't need, put my tracker cartridge in my tablet, move a few things around, and just make some space. All right, now we've got everything we need to start building a base. We just got to pick a spot. So I put down my first frame, and I note that it's above the ground and it's not perfectly square to the sun. So I just kind of make the best of it. Start laying out the frames for a platform so we can establish our base. I note that the frames are being deployed underneath the surface. So I'm going to switch to my drill and just mine it out so I can see where the frames are. Okay, and then I notice there's some coal nearby. And coal's good to have as a emergency power source right at the beginning. So I'm just going to grab a little bit of coal just to have handy. Excuse me. Now I'm just trying to decide where my entrance to the base is going to be. So I'm going to lay out some more frames. Thinking 5 wide by 4 or 5 deep. I notice that there's some oxide ore nearby. I know we're going to need that later to pressurize the base. So I'm just going to scoop it up now while we're clearing terrain. So now we got a 4 by 4, and I'm just putting up the front porch. Get my miner out, level off the terrain a bit so I can see what I'm doing. Grab that oxide. I noticed there's some other ore there, so I grabbed that too because we can always use that later. Coal's handy, so I might as well just grab it. And we're just having a look at the layout, deciding what we want to do next. So now I'm thinking about building an airlock out of frames. But then I changed my mind. I decide, no, I'm going to build it out of walls instead. So I take these frames down. And I start welding up the floor. Since this is just the porch at the front, I'm only going to weld one iron plate or one iron sheet into the floor. I don't need to make the front airtight. Since this is going to be the actual base, I make these ones airtight by loading in 2 iron sheets. You can see on the helper hint, we've ticked off build a 2x2 platform with frames. I decide that I need another frame in this corner, so I plop one down and continue with the welding. Finish up the welding, and then I see I've got some dirt on my platform, so I'm going to pull out my miner and just mine that dirt away, clean it up so it's nice and clean. All right, so now I want to put up some doors. So I'm looking for my door crate. There's my airlock supplies. So I'm going to pull that out. Grab that and plop it down on the platform. First, I got to find my base. Okay, drop that down. Pop it open. Find the doors. We're going to use standard doors to start because it's easy to get crates through those doors. If you use the glass doors, you can get crates through them, but they are difficult to do cabling with. And the other composite doors makes it hard to get the crates through. And it's not difficult to change later. So now that we got some doors up for our airlock frame, we're going to put up some walls. I like to put the walls on the outside. I'm just farting around here trying to figure out where I want the walls to go, what kind of wall I want to use, how I want it to look. And then we gotta put a roof on. I put the roof on here, but I want to make sure it's in the upper square so it sits on top. All right, sorry I had to pause there, help the wife out with something. So we're continuing with the building. Putting the roof on. So over near the door, I put down iron walls so I can put stuff on top later, and then the rest I'm going to use windows. Just trying to figure out where the edges are, because usually I build the walls first, but I started with the roof, so I just kept going. So I wanted to put iron walls there so I can put equipment on those ones. And I didn't need those ones over the porch. So now it's time to put up the walls. And I want to put up windows, but I start putting up walls, not realizing that they should be windows. Fortunately, I figure it out right about here. And I start putting up my windows. Again, I like them on the outside cube as opposed to the inside cube. Looks like I ran out of some walls. So I'm going to move my crate inside just so I don't leave it outside in case there's a storm. I know there's not going to be one for 7 days game time, but it's just a good habit to get into. Okay, got my walls. Shut the door so I can see what I'm doing. Switch over to Windows. Now I've got my windows up. Time to put in some glass. So with the windows, you have to put in one iron sheet to complete the window frame. And then you put in one piece of glass. So what I like to do is put iron sheets in one hand, glass in the other. I stand at the intersection of two walls, load up the iron sheets, switch hands, load up the windows, wash, rinse, repeat till you're done. And then I note when I'm putting these ones in that they might be in the wrong spot. See how the screws are on the inside? That's not what I want. I want them on the outside. So I have to disassemble that wall using a crowbar, take the iron sheet out of it. Then I gotta take down the windows that I put up. And put them on the outside cube. See the difference? The ones on the left are on the inside, the ones on the right are on the outside. I want them on the outside. Have a look. Seems okay to me. I just double check there to make sure it's on the outside. Now that we've finished that, back to the old glass sheets and iron sheets and finish sealing up the interior of my base. Okay, these should be the last two. Pop inside. There we go. Pop the door open. Seal up the walls in the airlock. I forget to do the floor, but I catch myself later. Just checking now that I have glass everywhere. And then I gotta do the roof. Then I notice that there's a hole right in front of my entrance. So I decide to put down some frames, but I accidentally put down some walls. So to get those walls back and figure out what's going on, I do a little mining, realize, oh, I put down walls, not frames. So I clear it out a bit. I decide to get rid of this door because it's in the way, so I just grind it up and then pick up my walls. Now back to expanding my front porch. Just going to put down a few more frames. So I have a nice area to work on, walk around on, and put up my refineries later. Quickly weld those up. Just one iron sheet each because they're just for outside to walk on. I'm not making them airtight, so one sheet will do. So now I decide I don't like how that terrain is over top of the edge of the frames, so I'm going to flatten it out. By switching from default to flatten, all it's going to do is level the terrain to a specific level. It won't dig down deeper. And I just want it so I have a smooth walkway into the base. Some ice water, I'll get that later. Good to know I have some nearby just in case. Finish welding up the floor. Alright, and I'm going to grab my electrical supplies because the sun's coming up. So I thought I better get a solar panel up so I can work on my power situation. So I grab my electrical supplies, fly up to the roof because I'm going to put my solar panel on the roof. Drop that down and get situated. Move that out of the way so I can put my solar panel down. Pop open the lid, grab my solar panel, and pop it in place. Just make sure I have the power pointing in the direction that I want, which is to the right. Grab a piece of glass, slap it in place. That's my solid generator. I'll use that later. Now I need to put down my area power control. Power is going to come down that wall, so I'm going to put it on that wall. I debated putting it on the floor, but I want to put other things there later. Slap it on the wall. Power going from the solar panel to the rest of the power. And connect it to the solar panel. Add some cables for later. Pop open the area power control and put some batteries in. Got a couple batteries up here and a charger, so I'm going to grab those. I stubbed out a wire for the charger. Pop a battery in my suit, take the old battery, put it in the area power control, turn it on, and she's charging. Set up my charger. Pop a battery in it. Make sure it's connected. Probably already is connected, but just double checking. And turn it on. Alright, we've got power. Make sure that it's indeed charging. Goes from 49 up to 50. Shows we are getting power, so we're set. Portable generator, solid generator. Gonna put that down. I tried to put it on the roof, but then I remember that it has to go on top of a frame. It can't sit on that wall. So just looking for the proper orientation. I think that's right. Looks good to me. Now I want the power to come in from the power side of the area power control out of the generator into the power side. So I run it across the top and down below so I don't get a cross circuit. Cable's on the inside, so I gotta run inside to switch it around. And we're good. So we've got solar power and coal power set up. And here I am just explaining why I ran the wires the way I did, so that I don't create a cross circuit. Just checking the charge on the battery. I have some spare coal on me, so I'm just going to pop it in there for later. And we're good to go. Now I guess I'm going to finish up the roof. Got a big hole there I got to fill in. Same plan, iron sheets, glass sheets, just fill them in as I go. It's at this point I note, excuse me, and I'm getting a little low on iron sheets. And I know I need to have at least 2 to be able to make the auto lathe, so I can make more iron sheets. Fortunately, I have about 3 left over by the time I'm done this process. Of course, I grab frames instead of the walls. Pop down 3 more windows to finish up the ceiling. And then seal her up. Okay, and just checking to make sure I got glass everywhere. There's no holes. Looks good to me. So now we've got a sealed base. We have power started. It's daytime. So I'm going to bring that crate inside. As I note, when you're going through the door with a crate, it's easier to go through backwards because sometimes they can wig out like that and then they'll pop and they can damage your suit and it's not a good day. So always try to drag them through backwards, which is why I use the manual doors. Just note that my solar panel's not getting power anymore. That's why the light was red. So I'm just going to bring in the rest of the stuff. Walk around front where I made my little flat path. Back in through the door. Put it down in a way I hope I can access it easily, so the handle's facing out. Make a note of what's in there. Air conditioner, mining supplies, storage supplies, portable scrubber, some food, extra batteries. Decided to get this out of the middle of the room. Okay, made some space. Go get the rest of the stuff. Grab my hydroponic supplies. Again, back in. Nice and safe. Try and put it down in a way where I can access the handle. Check what's in there. Yep, that's all the seeds and water bottle filler. I want to get the container mounts and the shelves. So I'm going to put the container mounts down because they secure the crates, and if I left them outside on container mounts, they'd be safe in a storm. But I don't like them all flip-flopping all over the place. So now I'm just thinking I want to put my water over there because the power's on that side, and I'll probably put my hydroponics over there. So I'll probably put the crates over on this side where they're out of the way. So I pop down the container mount and you can see the arrows point forward. That's the way the crate's going to face. Just get these guys out of the way. Try to put them in the center of the block. Get this guy out of the way. So you just pick it up. As long as it's resting on the mount and you grab your wrench, it'll lock in place with the lock facing forward because the arrows are facing forward. Just neatening things up. Yeah, I put it on backwards, but I use the wrench, pops it right around. So you don't have to be precise. You just have to get it resting on the mount. There we go. Now I'm going to put up some shelves. I like to put these shelves outside because when I'm doing my mining and stuff, I like to have access to my ores outside because my furnace and stuff is going to be out here. Now it's time to get the barrels. So I note that there's a water barrel and an oxygen barrel. But in my mind, I'm thinking somewhere there should be a fuel barrel. Usually, if it's not on the lander, it's nearby. So I make a note, mental note, to check later during the daytime to see if I can find my fuel barrel. So I'm just going to pop these down out of the way. While I'm here, I'm going to grab some oxygen. Oh no, I guess I decide I have enough. Grab my water barrel, get that inside, because I don't know. I know in the pre-update version, that lander is going to be destroyed in a storm. So I assume it's the same. So I want to get everything inside in case there's a storm. I know there's not one due for a while, but just like to get that stuff out of the way. Okay, we are nice and secure. Just checking over what's what, where things are. And I need my furnace and my auto lathe. So I'm going to grab the stuff that I need to make that. Organize my belts a little better. Make some space. Need the plastic sheets, so I grab them. Don't need the glass sheets right away. I do need the iron sheets. Now, the question is, where do I put my furnace? I'm going to run it off the power, but I don't want to run it off that line because that's my input side. I want to run it off the output side of my area power control. That's more important later when you're using a, I forget the name of it, but a device that controls the surge. So I'm going to run it off of here. Across the floor in front of the solid fuel generator. I'm going to put it on that frame. But the problem with putting it on that frame is that when I put the ore through the furnace, it's going to go in the front and kick out the back. And when it kicks out the back, it's going to fall in that hole right there. So I'm talking about how I'm going to put some more frames up. So I'm like, where are my frames? Oh yeah, they're in here. So I grab some frames. Now I need to keep 2 iron sheets to build the auto lathe. So I'm just going to pop the frames down where I want them. A little low on food and water, so I decide to pop open my helmet and have some water. Now, I am on Mars. It is about -2 degrees with 2 kilopascals of air. So I can't survive long, but I can open my helmet long enough to drink some water, let myself recover a bit, pop my helmet open again, and then eat some cereal bar. And then once I'm done, close my helmet right up, and then my suit takes back over, and I don't take any permanent damage. If I did that on another planet like the frozen one, I forget what it's called, I would freeze my lungs. If I did it on Venus, I would burn my lungs. So you have to be careful when you're doing that. But on Mars and the moon, you have a few seconds. So then I decide to finish up the frames. I'm going to move this shelf unit back 1 because it's in the way. I want to level off this bit of dirt so I can see what's going on. I'm still on the leveling mode. So I'm not going to dig down into the earth. I'm just leveling off the part where I want to be able to walk. All right, that looks okay. So we'll put down our shelves. Just make sure I put them down the right facing. Boom, shelves are down. I need to make some flooring for my auto lathe. So weld up one of these. Keep those 2 other sheets to make the auto lathe and position it just right. I like to put the first one in the middle of the frame. Make sure it's not too far off the back. And then weld it up. 2 iron sheets, some cables, 2 plastic sheets, and a screwdriver, and you're good to go. And 1 auto lathe. Now we just gotta wire it up put some things out of my inventory into the shelves. There's my power. Okay, now we've got her hooked up to power. Now we need some iron because we're going to have to fill in those empty frames. But I don't have any iron sheets. And I don't have any iron. Now it's nighttime, so I don't want to go mining in the nighttime. So I'm looking for something to do till daytime. So I think, well, might as well hook up my water. So I grab my filler. I'm going to put it on the wall over here because it's close to the power. And it's close to where I want to set up my hydroponics. I want to get the one with the number 1 and 2 on the right, so I use the alternate mode so that the pipe is down and the power is up. Grab some pipes, drop my wrench, or my cutters, of course. And then I realize, oh, look at that, the sun's coming up. So I'm just going to quickly put down a connector to put my water barrel on. Pipe it up. And grab my water barrel. Rest it on top of the mount, grab my wrench, lock it in place, and now we have water in the pipes. The only thing we're missing is power. There's my old water bottle. So instead of leaving it on the ground, I'll put it in the filler, grab some cables, hook up some power. I don't want to hook it on the input side. I want to hook it on the output side. So I'm going to run it down and over to the furnace. Okay, now we should have power to our water bottle filler. I just run in and check. There we go. It's filling up. We now have a water bottle filler. That's hard to say. Now, it's daytime. I need iron sheets. I don't have any iron. I need to go get some. Then I remember in here are mining charges and an extra mining belt because I've got that oxide in my belt and I don't want it to take up space. I'm going to grab that extra mining belt so I have some space. Then I remembered that there's the pneumatic mining drill. I tried to use it on the moon, but apparently you need to be able to use it on a planet where there's some sort of pressure. So it didn't do anything on the moon. So I thought, well, I'll just go put it on the shelf over here. But then I thought, what? Wait, let me try that. So I grab it and I run over to this ice and I note, wow, this works really well. So you can use it on Mars. So I opt to take that with me. It's gas powered. Take the battery out, put it on the wall, use the pneumatic drill. Put the battery in there, and then I got a battery that's charging. Swap my main battery out. Grab the mining belt so I have extra storage. Get those ones out of the way. Grab some mining charges in case I want to use them. Clean up after myself. Then I think, oh, I'm going to need to use the tracking beacon. So I pop out the beacon, but I don't turn it on because then I remember in the update, you can track your lander. So there's the beacon, no beacon because it's not turned on, but there's my lander right there. So I can track that lander till it gets destroyed. So I'll save some battery power and not turn on the beacon. And off we go. So I need to get the 3 starting materials: copper, gold, and iron. And then any other targets of opportunity that appear. So I make a note here. You see how there's green light on the wall, or green reflection from the copper ore? That's a new part of the update. So it shows you when you're mining that you can see that there's more ore to mine. Whereas before, I used to just go in, like do a circle, then go down deeper, then do another circle, then go down deeper and do another circle, till I couldn't find any more. But this is a very helpful update. So now I know just by looking around that there's more ore in the immediate vicinity. That's enough copper. I just need enough to get going. And then I note there's some gold. And you'll note, and I don't know if it's because I'm using the pneumatic miner, but it is much faster to mine the gold than in the previous version. Again, I am using a pneumatic miner, so that may be the reason for the change. But this is a rather large deposit. And as I understand it, with the new update, ores are going to be in specific regions, because when you put down your auto miner, I don't think that's the right phrase. Deep drills, that's what it is. When you put down your deep drill, you want to mine a specific ore with your deep drill in a specific biome. So that's why they've, I guess, included the rover, so that you can drive out to your deep drill wherever it is, grab that particular ore, and then transport it back. That's something, of course, we'll look at later in upcoming videos. So now I'm just looking for some good old-fashioned iron. I see some iron and some coal. So that's good, because I wanted to be able to get enough iron and coal to make steel. Because once I make steel, I can make a battery. And heavy cables. So I just grab what I can. Here I note that the terrain down below seems darker. I'm not sure if that's an effect of the iron ore, or if it's just actually darker. But I'm starting to get full on iron, starting to get full on coal. I want to get 50 coal so I can make steel. Just clear up some space. Also a good vein of iron, quite a bit. And then I'm just having a look around, noting that I only have 34 coal. I'm like, I should probably get some more coal so I can make steel. So when you want to make steel, you need a ratio of 3 ore to 1 coal. So if you have 50 coal, you need 150 steel. So, sorry, 150 iron. So I have 150 iron and I have 50 coal. That is enough to make steel. I actually blow through a lot of this making stuff, so I'm going to have to come out later and get more material. or steel, but hindsight's 2020. Here I am just topping up my coal. Coal is also good for the solid fuel generator for emergency power. Because right now I only have one standard solar panel. I know it's starting to get a little dark, so let's head back to base. Ice water, good to know. I thought this was a procedurally generated hole, but it's not. It's my old copper mine, so good to know. There's some more oxide. Can I use that? Because we're going to have to pressurize the base eventually. And instead of using the air in my canister, I'm just going to use oxide because it's free. Okay, here we are back at base. Gotta make some iron sheets, so we gotta put some iron in the old arc furnace. Turn that guy on and get her going. Then I'm just gonna unload my ore into the shelf unit here, so I have space in my inventory. So I keep the ice in the mining belt because it won't melt if it's in the mining belt. If I put that ice on the shelf, it would all melt. And I obviously don't want that to melt. Top up my coal reserves, check my power. Power's looking good. Grab some iron, complain that it falls down the hole because I don't have any iron sheets. So what do? I make some iron sheets. Put my mining charges away because I don't need them. Put the mining belt away. Now the mining belt is in the shelf. The ice is in the mining belt, but as long as the ice stays in the mining belt, it won't melt. Yeah, that's enough of them. Finish up my porch. Grab my iron first. Okay, porch is done. Let's do some copper. Put the iron in the old auto lathe and let's make a furnace. Get that out of the way. We need 10 copper to make the furnace. I'm just doing copper now. You can see it's going a little slow. We got 5 done at this point. I need 5 more. So I'm just waiting patiently for the copper to smelt. And the waiting patiently is over. So now I'm going to check my power. I see my power is a little low. I got 10 copper, well 11. Enough to start up a furnace. So I'm going to start up my furnace. It takes a while. So I decide, do I need to augment my power at this point? Now I'm looking at my door. I want to set up my doors. So I need an active vent, and I'm going to need 2 active vents because I want to use an advanced airlock because I have an atmosphere on the outside and an atmosphere on the inside, as opposed to a vacuum on the outside where I would need a simple airlock. I need an advanced airlock in this situation. So now I'm just having a look and I've realized that I put my solar panel where I need my passive vent to go. So I gotta move my solar panel. Pull the glass out. Pull up the solar panel. Put it back 1. Make sure it's in the right spot. Pop in the glass. and wire it up. Now, if I just took that other wire out and turned it, it would work, but I didn't realize that at the time, so I thought I was short of cables. Checking on the furnace, it's at 88%, that's good. Make sure I don't make two furnaces. Would it be Furni? I don't think so. And I'm looking for my spare cable. And it's at this point I realized I didn't need the spare cable, but oh well, I've got it now. So, set that up, power's back in place, pick up my spare cable. Power's a little low, so I'm going to turn on the solid fuel generator, top up the old batteries. Gonna need some more gold at some point, so I pop in the gold, pick up the copper, place it on the shelf for later. Check my power, it's going. What do I need to make next? Okay, I don't have any volatile ore, so I can't use my furnace, so I'll just put that away for now. Get to it later. Power's going good. Making some gold. But I need some more iron, because I want to make an electronics kit. To make the printer, I need 19 more iron. So I don't have any. Just want to make sure I'm not burning through power. I don't like the orientation of that vent, so I'm going to flip it around so that the pipe goes up top. Power comes down below. And then I can put the passive vent up on top. And then I just gotta get some pipes. I got enough iron, so I'm gonna start building my electronics printer. Do some more gold, because I'm gonna need to make an active vent at some point. Looking for my pipes. I know they're here somewhere. Bingo. And pipe it up. So I'm going to grab my console, my sensors, my disk. I look at the airlock card, like, oh, I don't want an airlock card. I want an advanced airlock card. So I'll just set it up. Just deciding where it's going to go relative to the cabling. If I put it in the middle there, the cable to the right, it'll come off of that. I can run the cable from my active vent past my console down below. Just check my power. I'm going to run power from the power side. The non-power side, actually. And leaving those cables for future doors. Hook those up. Make sure that's all hooked up. Have a look at the back. Yep, she's nice. Now I got to think, where do I want to put my sensor? And I also have to run power for a second active vent. So I'll run some cables. And I'm deciding where to put the sensor. I can put it right there. But I have to put it on the inside. So I want to know what the air is inside the airlock, not outside the base. Cable it up. Put the cable in place for an active vent. And we're good. Got my electronics printer done, so let's pop that down. I want to put it too close to the other auto lathe because I don't want the items that come out of the electronics printer to go into the auto lathe. So I move that one over to the center of the intersection of two squares, or two frames. Excuse me. And then same old iron sheets, cable coils, plastic sheets, and then the screwdriver. Electronics printer is good to go. Got some gold. That was good timing. Pop it in there. And we're going to make the hydraulic pipe bender. Get that started. Cable this guy up. And then because I cabled that up in mid-build, it interrupted the build. So I had to restart the build. All right, now you can see I've already burned through all of my iron and starting to burn through my coal. So I won't be making steel out of that batch. I've got good power. Sun's coming up. Can't make an an airlock, but I need some gold, some copper, and a little bit of iron. One gold, or 5 gold, 1 iron. So I'm just patiently waiting for the gold. Checking on the hydraulic pipe bender. All right, got enough gold. Pop that out. Now I just need 1 iron. Hydraulic pipe bender's coming along. Power is good. Transfer my suit battery over. Turn off my light because I'm wasting power. Just need 1 iron. So we're good. Get that copper going again. Grab the iron. Pop it in. Make an advanced airlock. All right, now I want to make an active vent, but it's the wrong machine. So I'm like, come on, hydraulic pipe bender, hurry up. So I'm going to pop that in there, turn on my light so I can see what I'm doing. Got some time to kill. So I'm going to put the glass on top of the console. Finish that off. Turn that off, save some power. Power's doing okay. And then I remember I have a, wait for it, portable gas generator. Portable generator. So I'm going to set that up for auxiliary power. So pop up to the roof. I'm going to put it right on that square there. So I got to unpack everything. Line up the base plate. Make sure it's lined up with the solar panel connection. Put together my generator. Pick it up. Put it on top of the base plate or the connector. And wrench it in place. unpack the bottle from its insulated container and put it in the old generator. Now I just got to run the cables. Problem is, I can't see where it is. I'm pretty sure it's dead in the middle. Like there. But I'm not sure. So I have to go down below to see. And then I get distracted by the fact that my hydraulic pipe bender is printed. So I guess we'll get back to that later. Now I try to put this down in the right spot, but one too far back for my taste. So I gotta move it. Throw my wrench on the ground. Why not? Okay, there we go. Now in the center there, it's not going to spit stuff out into that one, I hope. And I need an iron sheet, because I only have one. Check my power situation. It's doing okay. Iron sheets, cable, plastic sheets, screwdriver. I forget to screwdriver it. I get distracted and decide to put cable down instead. Then I'm like, hey, where is my fuel canister? I don't see it anywhere around the perimeter of the base. Is there another spot that it could be hidden on the lander? So I have a little looky look, and then, oh, there she is. Look at that. They tucked it away way up top. So important safety tip. Make sure you check your lander before it gets destroyed. So now I'm going to pop that on the roof over beside the fuel generator, so I have lots of fuel if I need power. Now I don't want to just leave that on the roof, because in a storm it will get destroyed and it will explode and it will damage my base. So you need to put it on a connector. So I grab a connector, pop up to the roof. Doesn't have to be wired or anything, it just has to be connected. So I plop it down there. Pick up my canister, put it on the connector. This is the important part. Wrench it in place. Now it's connected, so it won't take damage in a storm, at least in the previous version of the game. I don't know about this version of the game. I may have made a dreadful error, but we'll see. So now I make sure I connect the old power up. So I was wrong. It's not the middle. It's off to the side. Good thing I checked. And then just make sure everything's wired properly. Oh, finished building my hydraulic pipe bender. And I think I want to make an active vent. So I need some iron, some gold, and some copper. Well, I know I have a bunch of that in here. So I'm gonna rob Peter to pay Paul. Get some more iron on the go. So much for that steel, I guess, eh? Well, we'll do that later. There's my active vent. He's going to need a partner passive vent, so I'll print one off there. Hit the button so I don't print more than one. Doesn't take long. Grab the vent and put them in place. So now I'm thinking, where do I put my passive vent? I can put it there. That's going to get the inside air. I have to put my active vent over there. I've already wired it up. Now I just need to pipe it up. Where are my pipes, one might ask? Oh, there they are. Now you'll note when I connect this, it doesn't connect properly to the active vent because the active vent is up down, and I place that pipe in a lateral. So I think I'm good. And I decide, well, I'm going to label the doors, but I can't label the doors because they're standard manual hatches. So I got to take them apart. So now here I am trying to remember, how do you take apart a door? So I'll take apart that door. Notice I still haven't sealed the floor. I haven't noticed at this point myself. And then I take out the wrong piece of floor. So I fix that mistake. Read the instructions, because sometimes that's important. Use a screwdriver. Oh, it says I need a hand drill, so I get a hand drill. Pop that door out, pop that door out, and I'm going to put in composite doors. I want to make sure the electronics are on the inside, so I put it on the inside square, not the outside square. That's when I notice, hey, I need to wire this up. Still haven't noticed that the floor is not sealed. Put some wires in place. Try to remember how I'm going to hook this door up. I'm glad I did the doors before I sealed the base with the proper atmosphere. Because often I'll build the doors, then I'll put the atmosphere in the base, and then I have to switch the doors out, and then I have to weld inside, which dramatically increases your temperature. So that's not something you want to do. So now I'm just going to rename the doors. So this one's my exterior composite door, and I put AL in every one for airlock. Interior AL composite door. So that way, later on, when I have a whole bunch of components on that network, if I want to just search for airlock components, I can just search the string AL, and it will identify all my airlock components. And then I just name the gas sensor AL gas sensor, because I might have another gas sensor for another reason. So now I know that's my airlock gas sensor. Okay, we've got power. I was thinking about putting a light in, but I don't have a light, so I'm not going to put one in yet. Turn it on. Not working, because I got to put the card in. Find the card, pop it in place. And now I pick my exteriors first. So exterior to match exterior. And the sensor doesn't matter. Then I pick the interior. Now I pick the exterior door and then the interior. You have to do it in that order. If you pick the interior first, it'll make your interior your exterior, and you don't want that. Set my pressures to 0 so the doors open quickly. Turn it off, thinking that's going to fix it. And then remember, nope, just got to take the card out. And we're good, right? Door's open, seems to be working. Fantastic. Oh, floor's not sealed. All right, now we should be good, right? Got some air going in. Yeah, we're not good. We think we're good. But if you recall, I did not pipe up the interior active vent and the interior passive vent properly.
Hydration critical.
Okay, put that guy away. Might as well take the battery out. I say to myself, and then I realize, oh, there's already a battery in there. So I can take out the fully charged battery and put in the old battery. Pop that in there for later. Have a little drink.
Pressure critical. Oxygen critical.
Little food.
Oxygen critical.
Then I remember I left my extra food and water on my lander. So I'm going to run out and get it. So I'm going to open up the airlock and I see that flashing orange. I'm like, why is that flashing orange? Is that new? Is that a new thing? No, it's flashing orange because I did not hook up my pipes properly. I realize the error of my ways. I go take a look, and sure enough, there's a dead end pipe going nowhere. So pop that off, reposition it, go get some more pipes. Pick up the ores off the ground, ingots off the ground. Get a little more iron on the go. There goes that steel. Turn on the power so we have a little extra power. Activate it, cancel it so it opens because the pipe's not hooked up properly. Activate it, cancel it. Go back outside and hook up the pipe. So I'm like, okay, I gotta put one that goes right. And I'm like, where do I put this other one? Does it just go down? To think about it, because I got an elbow right and an elbow up. So I need an elbow going to the right and an elbow going down. Like so. And now, test the airlock, doors close, vacuums up, opens on its own. Perfect. Now we've got a working airlock. So, we've got a base with a working airlock, sealed up, 3 printers, furnace, a couple power sources. Power's doing okay. Just making sure it's increasing, which they are, so that's a good thing. Start smelting some more gold. Well, might as well put the furnace up. Where do we want to put it? So I'm thinking, decide if I want to put it there. I think no, I want to put it over here out of the way. So now, this is the tricky part. You look at it and you're like, how does it go? I like to put the input and output on the left and right. So you have to use the delete, page, home, and insert, page up, page down, to flip-flop it around till you get it to where you want. So here I am just trying to find the proper rotation. That's not what I want because I want the pipes out the back. Okay, that's sort of right. Oh, there we go. So now it's the way I want it. Now, I want to try and get it centered. Sometimes it'll center, sometimes it won't. I don't know why. It's probably a me thing. So I just find a spot that I think, do I want it here? Do I want it there? I don't know. Let's put it a little to the left so it's out of the way of the printer. Boom. See, check the printer, there's enough space. Now I know we need 4 iron sheets, so I gotta go print some iron sheets. The only reason I know I need 4 iron sheets is I was watching Panic and Die Gaming doing this just the other day, and he said, I know you need 4 iron sheets, and then it's wrench, and then it's the welder. So I have to thank Ryan from Panic and Die Gaming for drilling that into my head.
Air tank low.
All right. We have a furnace. Looks like we're low on oxygen, so I need to go get some oxygen. So I'll pop my canister into the barrel. Boom, we got some oxygen. My waste canister is getting full, but I don't want to empty it out just yet because I haven't pressurized this environment yet. Now, I have in my mind that I want to weld something inside before I pressurize the space. So I'm just looking to see what I need to make a welder. And because I need electrum and invar, which are alloys, I don't have those. So I'm not going to make those. I think for some reason I have to put in an atmospherics kit for air conditioning purposes, and that I have to weld inside. Looking back now, I think I was thinking about how I had to weld the doors. So that's what that welding thing was all about. My memory got the best of me. Life with a goldfish memory. So I'm just putting these alloys or ingots away so that I need tidy everything up so it's nice, neat, and tidy. And in case a storm comes along, they don't get blown away or damaged. And I'm building an atmospherics kit because in my mind, I'm going to have to weld it. And I want to weld it before I pressurize the base. And then I remember, oh, gotta get my food and water out of the lander because that's going to disappear once the storm comes. My atmospheric kit is done. I know I need pipes and cables to put my atmospheric kit together. Here I am just looking up the atmospherics kit, trying to remember what you need to build it. Now I'm deciding where do I want to put my atmospherics kit. I want to put it in that corner. I can run power from there to there. That's perfect. That's a good spot. But where is the waste? So I want to be able to run the waste outside so I can expose the pipe to the atmosphere to allow the waste to cool off. It's because I'm going to pull in hot air, I'm going to blow out cold air into the base from the input. Hot air in, output, cold air out. And the waste has to go outside to the atmosphere to cool off at night. Because when it gets down to -2 at night, it will cool off the waste gas in the pipe, which will allow the air conditioner to cool off the interior of the base. But this crate is in the way. So I gotta make some space in my inventory. And put down my air conditioner. Now this is a great location because the input's on the left, the waste is facing away from me, and the output's on the right. The power's right there, but it's backwards. I don't realize it's backwards until I build the thing. And now the controls are on the other side. So I put that in the wrong spot. So I have to remember how to take it apart. Hand drill. Wrench. And hand drill. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it against the other window.
Power low.
And then I'm going to have to just pipe the waste around. I could just run it vertically straight up through the base, or I can pipe it around. But I'll figure it out later. I don't need air conditioning right now. I got ahead of myself. So I'll just build that later and then finish it later. Okay, we're totally jacked on power, so I've been wasting power from the generator up top, so I'm gonna go turn that off because I've just been wasting fuel. Apparently I forgot something inside. Oh, I wanted to put those away. as well put that data disk away. I don't need it. I'm not sure what that was about. A little bit of indecision there. Oh, right. I wanted to put oxide inside my base. I thought about, doing the cheeky thing and stuffing it through the window, but I thought, no, let's just do it the regular way. Pick this up, pop it on the shelf so it doesn't get destroyed. And I'm going to go inside and I'm going to drop down some oxide ore to pressurize my base because it's daytime now. So it will, of course, lower the temperature because it's ice melting. But the sun is shining, so it will counteract the ice melting. So that's why I waited till daytime to do that. And now I want to make some pipes. No, filter. Because I'm using oxide inside the base, the oxide off gases oxygen and nitrogen. In my suit right now, you see I have 3 carbon dioxide filters. I can't breathe nitrogen. If my suit fills up with nitrogen and I don't have a nitrogen filter, I'll suffocate. So I need to make a nitrogen filter and put it in my suit because I'm going to be breathing in nitrogen shortly when I go inside my base and breathe the atmosphere. As soon as I open my helmet, the nitrogen in the air will go inside my suit and I need to have a filter to filter it out. So I put my extra carbon dioxide and nitrogen filter out here. In case of emergency, I can just run over and pick them up. So they're pre-made, ready to go. And back to the furnace. So now I'm going to put some piping on the furnace so that when it builds up pressure, I have a relief valve. I put the first pipe on backwards, so I got to fix that. And then I'm just going to build, I'm deciding where I'm going to put that because I want to put it so it's nice and neat. So what I want to be able to do is run a pipe towards the front of the furnace so that I can reach down and open a pressure release valve without having to move. So I'm just kind of mapping it out here, trying to think, where do I want my valve to go? And then I got to loop it back around away from the furnace and then up in the air so I can let the hot air escape or hot gases escape. Later on, I'll collect those gases and then convert them for other reasons. But right now, I just want to make sure I have a pressure relief valve on my furnace so it does not blow up and kill me and destroy my base. So I like to run it, relatively high. I need some more pipes because I don't have enough. And then I have to make a valve, which goes in that little space right there. Get some more pipes, and I'm going to need a cowl. So print those pipes off, grab the valve, pop the valve in place. And then I'm just deciding how high I want the chimney to go. And I figure that's enough pipes, so I'm going to switch to a cowl. At this point, I notice I had 9.5 iron left. So I don't want to have a 0.5 in there because if I pull that chunk or that ingot of iron out with the 0.5, it will delete 0.5 of my iron. So I'm just going to build one more pipe so that it's an even number. There we go. So 6.5 to 5. Now, if I pull that iron out, I won't delete half an ingot of iron. Okay, stack on a few more. And I'm thinking here, the higher I go, the less it's going to affect the temperature where I'm standing. Because when I'm putting ice in the furnace, if I release the heat, the pressure from the pipe, the air comes out, the heat will come down, and it will melt the ice that I'm trying to manipulate. So the higher I put it, the better. So I put it up that high. That should be good enough. It's far enough away. It will clear it. It will still affect the immediate area, but it'll clear up quickly. Okay, so that's done. All right, now I'm looking for some volatiles because I can't use my furnace without volatiles. And the sun is going down, so I kind of got to hurry. And then I'm noticing, oh, that might be silver, but it's not, it's gold. At some point, I'm going to need some silver. So I'm just getting enough volatile so that I can use my furnace. And the reason I want to use this furnace instead of the arc furnace is because the arc furnace uses power. This uses no power. So now I realize, oh, I used all my oxide pressurizing the base. So I think there's some oxide near the base. I have a sneaking suspicion from earlier that there was oxide near the base. I just don't remember where. None there. None there. There. Nothing in there. Oh, there it is. See, my suspicion was correct. So, mine a little bit of oxide. And that way I have enough oxide to use in the furnace with the volatile ice. Okay, so now I'm going to put that stuff away in my mining belt, and I know it's going to be safe. So there's my material for the furnace. Put the extra in there because I don't want to carry that around with me, and I'll just keep that on me in case I need it for some reason. Turn the power off. Turn the power off. Turn the power off. Save the power. And let's go see if our base is pressurized. So we need 20 kilopascals, and my head's in the way, of course, but I have 20 kilopascals, like 22 or something. So I decide to get my atmospheric card so I can check my atmosphere. So pop it into the tablet, turn on the tablet, and you see I've got 24.6 kilopascals, a temperature of 5.5 degrees, so it's a little cool, but that'll warm up. But I have oxygen, I got a little pollutant, but that's okay, not enough to bother me, and some carbon dioxide and some nitrogen. But more importantly, I've got more than 20 kilopascals, so I should be able to pop open my helmet. Have a drink. I don't have any warnings coming up. I'm able to drink water. I can eat food. I can run around with my helmet open. So we have an atmosphere. I can empty my waste tank into the atmosphere, which will give me a little more oxygen and carbon dioxide. I can have some food. So we've got a pressurized base now. The ambient temperature will warm up throughout the day, which is why I have the air conditioner in place, because we're going to have to keep it below a certain temperature to grow plants. And that's, of course, going to happen in the next session. But we're pretty set. At this point, we are nearing the end of the video. So I'm just having a look around. Making sure I got everything the way I want it to be. And then I'm deciding if I want to play a little longer, which of course I do, but I don't want this video to last forever. So that's it. We're all set. So sorry for the voiceover. First time I had to do this, but hopefully next time I won't make this mistake. Please like and subscribe. Add any comments that you have, because I do read the comments, and let your friends know. It really helps the channel. I'm still new at this, so be gentle. And I think in about 30 seconds we're gonna call it. All right, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.